Hello, everyone, and welcome to the KCK Inspire Moments with Kaylin radio show. I am your host, Kaylin John Louis, and I am so excited to be on the air with you all today. I know it's been a minute, and I just want to say to all those who may have been affected by Hurricane Helene, I hope that you all are recovering nicely. I'm very grateful to just the fact that God spared Tallahassee a little bit, but to the surrounding areas and even people who may have been affected, I hope that you're okay. Praying for you and hoping that all will be well. This hurricane season has definitely been a lot for us Floridians. So as we continue to pray against all or any other things that could come our way, I just really hope everybody is doing well and is safe. As I always say, please download the Hallelujah 95.3 app so that you can listen to this show on the go on your electronic devices, and also tag someone that you know and have them listen in to today's upcoming discussion, because I truly believe that it is something that's going to empower you and motivate you. I also want to plug my plug in here because we're getting back into the weather months where the weather's changing. We're now in fall. Winter may be coming up. We don't really know here in Tally. It's always something with the weather, but I say all that to say, please start taking your medication, start vaccinating up for the flu, for different fall allergies, or just those diseases that come year round. I don't want anybody to be sick. Please take care of your physical health, and not just your physical health, but also take care of your mental health. Make sure that you're doing all that you can to talk to someone if things are going on. We've just concluded Suicide Prevention Month, but that doesn't mean that that stops there. So please make sure that you are taking care of yourself and truly investing in your physical and mental health. But speaking of investing into things, y'all, I'm going to have a real heart to heart with y'all today. I know sometimes I have guests come on, sometimes I do motivational things, but I think we can all agree that life has been a lot lately. I don't know if that's the case for me. There's all of these tasks or assignments that are building up, or there's so many people that want things from you, or life just has you in a big old swing of things, has a lot going on. And so today I want to talk about a topic that I'm personally still dealing with and growing through, because I feel like transparency is big. I always like being transparent. I want everybody to know that the stuff that I come on and say is stuff that I'm still dealing with. Even if I'm saying something encouraging or motivational, it's something that maybe I need to say out loud to help myself. And I really hope that this helps you. But life can be full of unexpected twists and turns, especially where I'm at as a college student, or for anyone listening that may be balancing many responsibilities. We work hard to build relationships, pursue dreams, and even make plans. But what happens when things we've invested in no longer align with where we're headed? What happens when we don't know what to expect? What do you do when people who once stood by your side drift away, or when the path that you've been walking suddenly changes? And I've been there, trust me, several times, even more recently. While pursuing my goals and becoming the person I'm meant to be, I've let go of some people. Some people have let go of me. Opportunities and expectations have all come up, and I've had to let go of things that just didn't serve me. And let me tell you, it's not easy. I feel the sting of losing things I thought I needed, and affected me personally and mentally at times. But here's the beautiful truth of what I've learned. Sometimes to truly thrive, we must make space by releasing what's holding us back. You see, holding on to the familiar can weigh us down, even when it's no longer healthy or aligned with God's plan for us. We've become stuck emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. It's like carrying a heavy backpack with things that you no longer need. Eventually, you must take it off and trust that letting go will lead you to something better. And today, I want to encourage you to embrace the beauty of letting go, whether it's a relationship that's no longer serving you, a habit that's holding you back, or even a mindset that's keeping you stuck. It's time to release it. So, today's topic of conversation is thriving through transitions, letting go to grow. And I know I've talked about letting go before, I've talked about different things, but this is something that I'm learning even the more as I continue to adult, even as I continue to grow as a professional, just as a person. There's some things in life that, in order for you to go to higher heights, in order for you to go to the next stage in your life, you're gonna have to let go of some things. Those things may be people, they may be the things that distract you away from your path. Those may be the things that deter you away from following your dreams, but you're going to have to let go whatever it is that's holding on to you, that's keeping you from transitioning where you need to be. If I were to look back over the last few months of my life, from the start of January until now, there have been so many changes in my life that have bolstered me into the woman that I am becoming, that is pushing me to thrive in the many transitions that I've experienced, from going out of high school into college, from being, in places where I'm familiar to being unfamiliar, to being around new people and having to get adjusted to that. It took me having to let go of some things for me to truly be able to grow into where I'm at. And I'm not going to say that I wanted to let go certain people, that I wanted to let go some of those things. But once I finally stopped being stubborn and I was able to, truly go through everything and truly feel everything out, I've been able to step where I am now. And I want to be able to talk about 4 things that can help you when it comes to the topic of thriving through transitions, because a lot of times it starts with the first step, which is the power of letting go. Sometimes we hang on to things so much because we genuinely do not know what it would feel like to not be attached to it. When I say that, I mean people. Sometimes you're attached to people, and while these may be people that you grew up with for the longest, you're going to new places, you're having growing pains, and some of those people that you grew up with may not be able to go in the same places that you're going. And that right there hurts. Knowing that, having to recognize that is one thing, but actually going through with the action and letting go tends to be the hardest part for people. I know for me, there's been times where, yes, I'm very conscious of my friend group, but it's some people in your life where you've grown up with them for so long, and then you can see the change. You can see how you're growing, and you're going to one place, they're going to another. And at some point, you have to let go. So, what is letting go? Letting something go is taking a lot of courage within you, then hanging on to something. You're deciding to choose courage, then keep choosing the pain that, or choosing the thing that's causing you pain. When you let go, it doesn't mean that you're ignoring the situation that's happening, ignoring the person. It means that you're accepting what is precisely as it is, without fear, resistance, or struggle for control. That's the biggest thing. That last part, struggling for control. I don't know if y'all have been like me before, but have you not ever been in the place where you just want to control everything? You want to have a handle on how things are going on in your life. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I mean, if you're a believer like me, we already know that a lot of the stuff that happens in our life, God is in control of. But then there's certain situations, y'all ever sit back and you're saying, goodness, Lord, I just wish that I could make this happen, or why is this not happening the way I need it to, or why are these people leaving my life? Why are these opportunities not being given to me? When God is sitting there saying, you have to let go of that mindset. You have to let go of that notion, and you have to let me step in so that I can push you into your next transition. And that is the biggest thing that people have to learn how to do, is let go. You have to also love yourself enough to look at the past from a different perspective, because that's another part. When we're going through transitions, when we're trying to learn how to grow, and we're trying to learn how to let go of things so that we can grow into the person we want to be, sometimes it starts within. We think a lot of times, oh, this person is holding me back, or this situation is holding me back, but you could be the person holding you back. Your mindset, the way you think, the way that you wake up in the morning, you don't wake up with confidence. You don't wake up with that same umph and encouragement to be the best version of yourself. You don't wake up with the, mobility to be different. You choose to see yourself in such a negative light that you can't look past all the stuff going around you. Life's just hitting you with curveball after curveball, and you're blaming all the other situations when in reality, it could just be a mindset switch. So you have to learn, like I said, to love yourself enough to look at something differently. You have to accept that you can't change the past, but you can change where your perspective is. You can change whether that perspective you channel poisons you or nourishes you. Because there's going to be times in your life where you lose that friend who was supposed to be there forever. You lose that job opportunity that you thought was your dream job. You don't receive the scholarship that you've applied for. You don't receive the application that you've put in for something. It's going to happen. Because everything that we may think is for us, God may be sitting right there saying, no, 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 no. Let me show you what's better. Let me show you something else instead of what you're only thinking. Sometimes we get so simple minded and we only think about, okay, God, this is where I want to go. You say you want to be a radio host, but God's trying to take you into bigger places. And yes, I use myself as an example because I did not know. Yes, I had the idea and the vision that some of the things in my life, as far as going to FAMU, being a journalist, being able to, actually live my dreams and sit in all the stuff that I love, I didn't think that was going to be something that has been happening as quickly. I didn't think I would be traveling and going to places so quickly and being able to be in rooms with different high figures, but God put me there. I didn't know that I'd be able to meet certain people or be placed in positions to do multimedia journalism or doing content for different organizations or just simply growing into the young woman that I am now. But it was because I had to let go some things, some of those perspectives, some of those notions. Sometimes I even was my biggest, person that held me back, because sometimes we get in our headspace of, oh, I don't deserve this, or I don't understand why I'm here. I don't know how I'm here. You have to get out of that mindset and say, I may not know why I'm here, but I'm here for a reason. I went from one place to the next place for a reason. I let go of that thing so I could grow into something else. You have to feel everything out. You have to let go of the things that are holding you back, or you will be held captive by everything that you hold in. And this is why I put the mental health plug in the beginning, because let's be real. A lot of the times when we're trying to grow in situations, our mind is our worst enemy. We keep all the stuff that we're dealing with inside. We keep those thoughts, those, negative notions. We keep those failures or moments of weakness in our head, and we don't allow ourselves or give ourselves the room to grow from it. Sometimes we make a mistake or we work on a project, it doesn't work out the way we want it to. We end up getting around, say you at your job, you have this big idea and you saw it going somewhere so far and it doesn't go there, and then you get stuck. You're replaying it on over and over and over, and it's holding you captive. You can't accept any new job opportunities because you're still dealing with the trauma from being let down from the other one. You can't allow the past things that's happened to you to stop you from going to where you are supposed to be going. There's so much bigger for us than we realize. We see things from such a simple lens when there's so many things that we want to do. So, enough. I know I went on a tangent about that, but I'm being so for real because I don't know who needs to hear that. But sometimes you have to get out of your mind. Yes, you're going to go through change in life. Nobody likes change. Nobody likes transition phases, but you have to let go so you can grow. The last thing you have to do to really let go of something is you have to forgive yourself or the situation and realize that the past is over. Unless you do that, you cannot move forward. Because even when you lose things, I know I said, thriving through transitions and letting something go. When you hear the word transition, some people may think of death. They may think of, letting go of a person who's passed away. But we grieve in a lot of ways that is not actually death. We grieve the loss of friendships. We grieve the loss of our younger selves. We grieve the loss of the dreams and ambitions of where we thought we would be at certain ages and certain places in our life. And so I say that because you have to forgive yourself. You can't hold on to the fact that, oh, I'm 25. I thought I was going to be traveling the world with the job, but you're still in college or you're still doing something. You're doing something different than you thought. It's okay. Life happens the way it has to happen for us to be where we need to be. Sometimes you may not do everything on the timeline that you want to do it. Sometimes you may be pushed into something a lot sooner than you think you're ready for, when in reality God is like, I've been preparing you for this whole time. So, yes, you have to let go. That's the first thing. That's the power of letting go. When you let those things go, when you build that courage up inside of you to let go, then you're able to go to the next stage of thriving. And then that second stage is recognizing when it's time to move on. Because when we go through transitions, like I said, you deal with that trauma in your mind, but a lot of people don't move on. Or you deal with people who leave your life and you don't move on from the situation. You don't sit there and say, okay, maybe God removed them for a reason. Let me stop getting in my feelings and let me think about it. We don't move on from things. We keep it in the back pocket of our mind, and it slowly and slowly eats away at us. Or it's not a mental thing. Maybe you're in a situation where you're dealing with a lot. Somebody's constantly nagging you, or that situation is not serving you and it's causing you more stress than happiness. And that's when you have to realize it's time to move on and to go into another place in your life. It is unfair to hold yourself to keep trying to justify why what you're holding on to is toxic. You have to move on. Let me tell you the biggest thing you can exercise: the word no. That's a big thing for helping you move on. A lot of times people will try to ask you to do this and do that, and you're breaking your back and you're breaking your energy and you're tired and you're not able to do everything because you're not saying no. Recognize when it's time to move on from a situation. And let me tell you something else. As much as that job or that person or that opportunity may be the best thing in the world, if it's costing you your mental health, if it's costing you your insanity, if it's costing you your peace, it's time to move on from it and let go of it. Because there's obviously something bigger and better for you, where you'll be able to have peace, where you'll be able to thrive, and you won't be stressed out in those situations. You have to make a decision that you're going to move on from it. It won't happen automatically. You may take some time. You may rise up and say, I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how disappointed I am. I'm not going to let this get the best of me, and I'm going to move on. Sometimes you want to move on, but you also have certain parts of you that are scared to move on. Sometimes fear holds you back, but you have to move on from the things holding you back so that you can grow. Growth is uncomfortable. And because this is a new version of you that you're not used to, you got to give yourself a little grace and breathe through it. Now I'll give you an analogy because I like to add other context to what I'm saying. If you look at plants, and I may not be a huge nature person, but I have been able to see, just looking at trees, looking at grass. When grass Well, before it rains, grass is grass. It's green, it's there, it's just in the ground. The trees are there, everything is uprooted. But when it rains and when it pours down, the grass grows and it grows and it grows and it grows until somebody comes and cuts it, right? Let me relate that back to life. We sit here and we're growing and we're just that beautiful green grass. And then rain comes and all the life situations are hitting us left and right. And we're confused on why things are happening. God, why are you taking me to this place? I don't think I'm ready for it. Why are you positioning me to be in this place of my life? I'm scared. I don't know if I'm ready for it. And God is saying you got to see the beauty through the rain. Because while you're complaining and it's pouring down, you're growing in the process. But all you're focused on is the rain, that you don't see the growth that's in the midst of all of that. You have to be able to grow through what you go through. That's a real thing. Like wildflowers, you have to allow yourself to grow in places that you thought you never would. There are going to be some spaces God takes you into that you don't understand. There's going to be some transitional phases in your life where even if you're not transitioning from one major thing to the next, it could be something as simple of, for those who are younger, you're going from one grade to the next, or those who are older, you're going from one position in your job to the next position in your job, or you're going in one role of your life to the next role of your life. There are gonna be some things that you get in these uncomfortable places and you think, oh, I can't grow from it. But that's really where the most growth comes from. The most unexpected things in my life, the most unexpected, just, terrible situations or life situations that you just never want to think about happening or never hope to happen. In those spaces, that's where I've grown the most. That's where I've been able to recognize myself the most. That's where I've been able to love myself the most and discover my self-worth. You have to take those things that you go through in life, those transitional phases, and you have to grow through them. And then once you move on from the situation, because like I said, first you had to let it go. Now you moved on from it. Now you're at step 3 of now you have to embrace change and faith. And embracing change is also one of the biggest things that we as humans don't like to do. Nobody likes change. Nobody likes going from one place to the next. But sometimes it's the smallest decision that we make in life that can change our life forever. That one decision of not talking to that one person, not going to that place that person wanted you to go to, not allowing that one person to influence you to go somewhere you may not have been meant to go, can change your life forever. One decision can alter your future. One wrong mistake, or one right mistake, or one right thing, it can change your life for the better, but you wouldn't know unless you embrace that change. I have something on my vision board that says embrace new possibilities, be open to new possibilities. Because I'm a big person where I like to stay organized. In the past, I would get so organized and, oh my goodness, this isn't the way it is, or this isn't going the way that I want it to, that it used to irk me and bother me so badly. But throughout this year, I can truly and honestly say this has been the biggest time where I truly have embraced new possibilities and embraced change. Yes, change is uncomfortable. Yes, I may not understand what I'm doing 100% of the time, and I'm growing just like everybody else, but I'm also blossoming and growing into a beautiful woman, a beautiful professional, a beautiful person that understands so much more because I allowed myself to feel the feels, to feel the bad moments, to feel the times where I didn't want to change, to feel the uncomfortability. Yes, the change may have been painful, but nothing is as painful as being stuck somewhere where you don't belong. Have you ever been in a place where you walked into a room and you just automatically knew off rip, yeah, I don't need to be here? Or this is not my vibe. I don't need to be in this space. Have you ever been somewhere where you just know it's uncomfortable? You know you shouldn't be there. You know that this is either below you or it's not for you. It's the same thing when it comes to staying in places that don't serve you. Yes, you may want to stay a teenager mentally, but that's not going to help you even though you're adulting. You may want to stay in the place where you're not growing, but that's not going to help you as somebody who's constantly evolving. We are just like everything around us, the nature around us. Trees don't stay the same. Plants don't stay the same. They grow, they die, they rebirth, they regrow. They go through phases just like us. Just like the seasons change, so do we. And the place you are in your life right now may be one phase, but then next year you may be transitioning into another phase. You may compare yourself at the beginning of the year and the end of the year and see two completely different people. And guess what? As long as you're building yourself to be better, there's nothing wrong with that. Personal development is the biggest thing that you should work on, especially now because y'all, we're in October. we're in getting close to the end of the year. I know if you're like me, you can't believe it because I feel like we just started 2024. But we're getting to the end of the year. And I wanted to make this a point that I talked about this because some people may be going through transitions right now. These times of the month, they normally call these the months where people tend to have that, seasonal depression, seasonal times where they've been thriving all summer. Then they get to the chilly months and then they're stuck or they're dealing with so much mentally that they're not growing. And I want you to know that you got to be able to get yourself out of that headspace. Push through as much as you did in the beginning of the year. Finish strong. And also know that there's going to be some things in life that don't make any sense that God's sitting there waiting on you to just let him intervene on. There's going to be some things that just don't make sense. There's going to be some situations in life that you just got to take a chance, take a leap of faith and say, God, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm going to trust that you know what's going on in the situation and that you have the plan for my life, that you know where I'm going to go. You know the things I'm going to do. So the biggest piece of advice I could offer you about thriving after you lose something, someone, an opportunity, something that didn't serve you, learn from it. So many times we go through something and then we don't learn from the situation. So then we got to go through the situation again through somebody else or through another situation or through another thing. You know why? Because you didn't learn from it. The next time something happens to you in life or you transition to a new place or you're put in a new position, instead of being so frustrated that you lost somebody or frustrated that you lost an opportunity or frustrated that you had to go and change in one phase and go to the next phase, learn from it so that you don't make the same mistake again. Because if you don't learn from it, that same hurt that you're dealing with now, that same frustration that you dealt with in the past, it's going to come back up in another situation until you learn from it. You're not going to always be control in life. You're not going to always be in control in life. Life is full of experiences. It's full of lessons. It's full of heartbreak and pain. But it's also full of love and beauty and possibility and new beginnings. You can't have sunny skies without rainy days. You can't have positive days, positive moments without having some little bit of negativity sometimes. But embrace it all. It makes us who we are. And after every storm, you see a clear sky. I don't know. Did y'all observe that? Because after all that craziness we dealt with the rain on the hurricane, the next day it was beautiful and sunny. Am I the only one that sees that after storms? After the worst storms, it's sunny. It's a clear sky. It looks as if nothing did not happen. And you know why? Because that's a reminder that yes, life happens, but you persevere and you move on. Yes, you transition from nasty phases and nasty seasons, but then you go into beautiful ones. Give yourself the space and the room to grow. Give yourself the opportunity to just embrace all that's coming to you. God has something greater waiting for you on the other side of all the craziness that you're dealing with right now. So when you clear out what's no longer meant for you, you create space for new blessings. You create space for new opportunities, and you create space for new levels of growth. You got to be able to get out of your head. Thrive through those transitions. Don't let that stuff crush you. You may be like me. Sometimes you have to wake up and you got to, do your hair, put on a little bit of makeup, put on some jewelry, put on your nice outfit to make yourself feel good because you're not going to wake up every day feeling good. You're not going to wake up with 100% energy every day. But you know what? You can choose how you approach it. You can fake it till you make it, but thrive through these points of transition. I'm in one of the most interesting times of my life where I'm joining things in college. I'm learning about myself in college. And every day I wake up and I do not always know what's going on. But one thing I can guarantee is that I wake up with the mindset of another day we're going to slay. We're going to try something new. We're going to wake up with confidence because why not? You made it to this day. You got to make it to the next day. And every day that God wakes me up and puts breath in my body, that means that I have more things to do. I'm alive because there's more for me to do. So keep that mindset. Anywho, as I wrap up, just ask yourself, what are you holding on to that you need to release? And how can trusting the process help you step into your next chapter stronger, wiser, and more equipped to thrive? I hope that blesses you. I hope that you take this through the rest of your week. You take this into the next week. You just take this for whenever. If you need to replay it, send it to somebody who may need to hear this. Share this with somebody because that's something big, y'all. We got to learn to let go so that we can grow. We got higher places to go. All right. But before I leave, I ask that you connect with me on all my social media platforms. You can subscribe to the KCK Inspiring Moments with Kaylin YouTube channel. I ask that you turn on your post notifications. Follow me on Instagram at KaylinCares15. You can go on Facebook and LinkedIn and follow me there at Kaylin's Caring Connection. And by all means, please go to the website, which is www.kaylinscaringconnection.com, and check out the Kaylin's Caring Connection website. As I wrap up the show, remember one thing: you are loved, you are enough, and you matter. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next KCK Inspiring Moments with Kaylin radio show. Until next time, be blessed.